ever felt that curiosity that resembles desire, that urge to look beyond your known boundaries, Serbia appears like a mirage that insists on being real. I'm not talking about maps or tourist brochures. I'm talking about the feeling of entering a place where clocks seem to tick at a different pace and people's eyes hold secrets that are not easily revealed. I cross a bridge in Belgrade, and if I'm honest, just as I'm adjusting my posture to look sophisticated, a woman walks past me and reminds me how futile it is to try to be mysterious. Her gaze, firm but with a hint of amusement, makes me feel like a tourist trying to hide the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing. 4.8% of Serbian women married foreigners. Cold, statistical, almost clinical. Perhaps the first time I heard the statistic, it seemed like a simple fact. But numbers don't tell stories. They don't convey the feeling you get when you cross a bridge over the Danube in Belgrade and see someone passing by with the serenity of someone who knows that life is measured in moments and not in statistics. Germans, Austrians, Swiss, men who traveled beyond their comfort zones in search of something they could no longer find in their own countries. A look that still commands respect. A form of love that makes no apologies for being traditional. And there, among old cafes and avenues that stand the test of time, these women present themselves with a mixture of firmness and subtlety that seems to defy the trends of the modern world. It is not vanity or caprice. It is the essence of a character that has learned to survive between history and the present. And in its movement, in its ability to choose and decide, Serbia reveals a reflection of Europe that refuses to lose its memory of itself. Walking through the streets of Belgrade is like stepping into a time that refuses to die. The city breathes through its cafes, churches, and squares. The voice of history whispers from every corner. The population density is moderate, about 78 people per square kilometer, but the presence of each one seems to weigh more than any statistic. Most are Serbs, but there are also Hungarians, Bosnians, Gypsies, minorities that, far from diluting the identity, enrich and nuance it. The language, Serbian, is heard in cafes and markets, like an invisible thread connecting generations and extending to neighboring countries. Serbian women are not only the subject of foreign gaze, they also leave. Germany, Austria, Italy, names that sound like promise and nostalgia. They seek opportunities, yes, but also recognition. In this coming and going between homelands, a larger story is reflected, that of the fragmented European soul, longing to believe again in something that is not temporary. And one, as an observer or a traveler trying to understand, feels a strange urge to protect, to care for what seems so delicate and yet so strong. Because it is not only geography that moves in these migrations, it is the very essence of a culture that wants to endure.
can't help feeling that the men who come here are also searching for something lost, a connection, an anchor in a world that, outside these borders, has forgotten patience and perseverance.
Serbia carries centuries of history, empires, wars, reconstructions. And despite that, women walk as if all that were just an elegant accessory. As if to say, yes, it all happened, but now let's see who can keep up with us. Marriages with foreigners are not mere statistics. They are bold decisions. The foreign men who come to marry them are not just looking for companionship. They are looking for a reflection of what modern times have denied them. Respect, admiration, a form of love that makes no apologies for being sincere and steadfast. But imagine a foreign man trying to impress someone who has already seen how to survive almost every disaster imaginable. The scene is as intense as it is hilarious, if you know how to appreciate it from the outside. And so, after wandering through markets, squares, and avenues, after listening to stories of lives that intersect across countries and generations, one understands that Serbia is a place where borders exist, but desires, memory, and personal decisions are what truly define the experience. There is something profound in knowing that beneath the data and statistics lies the essence of a country that still knows what it means to wait, choose, and preserve what matters. The streets of Belgrade, the squares and cafes seem to conspire to remind you that authentic life cannot be improvised. Women, with their determined gait and direct gaze, naturally dictate the rules. Men, especially those who come from afar, learn to recognize when to intervene and when to simply admire. And there, amid restrained laughter and gestures of respect, one understands that life here is a complex dance. Beauty, strength, humor, and sensitivity mixed together in every moment. And as I watch, I wonder if those foreign men who cross borders are not also seeking to reconcile themselves with something that Western Europe has lost, a form of courtesy that cannot be learned in schools or bought in manuals, a courtesy that is reflected in a glance and in the way Serbian women walk, as if each step marked the rhythm of generations. But the story is not one-sided. Serbian women also leave, taking with them the same determination that captivates outsiders. Germany, Austria, Italy, names that sound promising but also nostalgic, because emigrating is never just an economic decision. It means letting go of the familiar, a test of strength and conviction. And there, in that choice to cross borders, to open oneself up to the unknown, a subtle lesson is revealed to those of us who watch from the outside. Authentic life is one that takes risks, even if it involves uncertainty and sometimes a little fear. Female migration reveals another layer of subtle humor. Those who leave do so out of necessity and conviction, and those who stay do so with pride and a certain irony about the promises of the outside world. mixed marriages and emigration show that human connection is unpredictable. What seems like a trivial gesture can turn into an alliance, a life lesson, or a hilarious situation that we will remember with a smile years later. The irony is subtle. A country that has suffered so much with changing borders and cities being rebuilt still retains the ability to offer what many consider lost: authenticity in human relationships.
Serbia teaches us that maps are just that, lines on paper. The borders that really matter are in memory, in gestures, in human encounters that leave a lasting mark. And Serbian women, with their strength and delicacy, reflect a country that does not forget, that does not rush, and that still knows how to combine tradition with the desire to live life to the fullest. Perhaps no traveler arrives here by chance. Perhaps those who are drawn to Serbia are looking for more than just a destination. They seek to understand, respect, and in some way protect what still remains authentic in a world that often forgets it.